Welcome to Wine Club. I'm Stephanie, and this is a playlist where I drink good wine while I whine about bad books. And today's offender is Cinder-Nanny by Soraya Wilson, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your first name. I do want to leave a spoiler warning, as I will be talking about major plot points in this book. And I also want to say that romance isn't my top go-to genre, so take my review with a grain of salt, please. I also want to preface this review by saying that it is completely about the book and not the author as a person. I respect every author that works to get their books published, and my review is solely about the book. All right, let's read the back cover copy to see what the book promised. With her sister's medical bills mounting, Diana Parker can't say no to a high-paying opportunity like this. Accompany a wealthy couple to Aspen and nanny their precocious 5-year-old son for 3 months. Necessary qualifications? She must know how to ski and teach math, speak fluent French, excel at social graces, and hold a master's degree in childhood development. Who will be the wiser that Diana's only skill is packing for Colorado? So far, so good. Having a con woman for a mother has turned out to be a benefit, even if Diana has complicated feelings about telling lies. But she's doing this for her sister. And the perks, like a ticket to a lavish charity fundraiser, a new gown, and a Prince Charming adjacent earl named Griffin Windsor, are pretty irresistible. Diana can't deny the Cinderella vibe. Weary of gold diggers and scandal, England's most eligible bachelor is nevertheless falling for Diana and sweeping the not-quite-princess off her feet. The warmer their relationship becomes, the slippery the slopes are for Diana. Sooner or later, she'll have to come clean. When that happens, does an honest-to-goodness happy ending even stand a chance? So let's start by saying, do you want to see a weak plot point stretched out for more than 200 pages? Then read this book. Diana brings it up every single chapter that she likes him, but she can't. She wants to be with him, but she shouldn't. Maybe she should be with him, but no. But maybe. Like, pick a lane, girl. Like I said, this is not my go-to, but it came in a book subscription box. I actually think it was Scribbler. And I do try and branch out and read genres that I normally don't, but I honestly wish I had DNF'd this, and I should have multiple times, but I powered through. This is brie meets cheddar meets manchego meets mozzarella. I'm saying it's cheesy. I mean, the title kind of gives it away as well as the back cover copy, but I was not prepared for this level of cheese. Now, if you like clean romances, this is probably a great book for you because it is very clean. Like, I think the furthest they go is like a kiss. That being said, again, not my particular cup of tea or type of cheese. I also want to say that the chapter breaks and the mini cliffhangers were odd and misplaced. Like, sometimes they were breaking up a scene and not in a good way. Like, there's many times the scene literally cuts off mid-conversation to start a new chapter. Like, I tabbed, so page 49. It might be dangerous if I stayed. Is there somewhere you have to be? Griffin asked. I knew what I should do. What the smart thing would be. No one had ever accused me of being smart, though. Chapter break. No, there's nowhere else I have to be. Tomorrow I've got to spend time with a 5-year-old, but tonight I'm free. Like, why was the chapter break right there? Like, you're in the middle of a conversation. Then even worse, the exact same kind of like phrasing happens a few chapters later. This is the end of chapter 8 leading into chapter 9. The man had needed to come over to clarify my meaning about friends, because I'd been sending out all kinds of mixed signals, you don't say. And here I was, doing it again. I should have handed him the scarf, thanked him for coming by, and sent him on his way. Only I didn't do that. Instead, I held the scarf out to him, and he grabbed the end closest to him. The rational thing would have been to let go. But nobody had ever accused me of being rational. Again, it almost felt very like high school or twee. Like, it's not my cup of tea. I will say, like, some books do pull off the chapters breaking mid-scene really well, but it's typically when it's done to make a statement or be a stylistic choice. I have seen it used well, but when it's used pretty much every single chapter, It's not done well. It's annoying. I will say, maybe I am a bad person or something, but I really didn't understand her conundrum with her mother. Like, Diana makes it sound like if she tells Griffin about her mother, he will refuse to even be with her or be around her or breathe the same air as her. It's not like Diana was the one stealing from all those men. Like, she alludes that she was involved in some of her mother's schemes when she was a child, but I don't think that's enough to make people run away from her, as she was a child when she did. Her mother coerced her into doing this. People will understand. They're not going to sit there and be like, oh, you're a terrible person because your mother abused you and took advantage of you when you were too young to understand what was going on. I would say it would be completely different if like she had started to realize what she was doing was bad and she was hurting innocent people. And like if she was the same as her mother, kind of like the movie The Heartbreakers with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Sigourney Weaver. But this wasn't it. There is, like, she's not a bad enough person. It was like Wilson wanted Diana to be bad, but couldn't commit to actually making her a bad person herself. I also have to say, is she seriously surprised that he did figure out that she was the nanny? Like, girl, everyone probably knew that. Also, how did she become the nanny? She has none of the ridiculous qualifications and yet gets hired without a thorough background check or a test of her skills. Like, easily, the mom could have asked her a few questions in French or hired somebody to quickly ask her a few things to vet if she actually knows what she's doing, or ask her how long she's been skiing, what kind of skis she likes to use, what kind of runs she likes to go on, where does she like to go. This family has $1 bazillion, but no, we just trust you right away. You obviously aren't lying to us to get this well-paying job. I also want to say that Griffin is a bit over the top for my taste. Like, I don't mind that he's attracted to her, but he almost acts like he's under a spell and must have Diana when she's given him no real indication to pursue her. Like, let it go, man. Play a little hard to get. Also, why is he so immediately attracted to her? If it's just lust, like, that's fine, play that up. But it's not written that way. It's just, he sees her and bam, he's in love. Not just interested, but he will give up everything for her. You've known her for 4 minutes. Like, sure. I mean, she's also exaggerating her feelings toward him. Like, or at least I hope her ovaries aren't exploding when she looks at him. Like, owie, that would hurt. It felt a bit like Wilson knew Diana had to be flawed, but didn't know which route to take, as she didn't want Diana to truly be a bad person, even though Diana really thinks she is. Like, her mother did a number on her. So she's also got this weird jealousy thing that honestly reminded me of 50 Shades of Grey, and like Anna's horrendous inner dialogue that puts down every woman that even looked at Christian. Like, Diana kind of comes off the same way as she flies into a jealous rage when she's the one telling Griffin that they can't date. Like, you don't get to get mad if he's flirting with other people if you're the one who's telling him you don't want him. On the story side, I do want to say that the stakes aren't that high. And again, I'm not expecting that in a romance. But that's also weird to say since her sister's life is on the line. But like, Griffin literally offers her the money to help her out and pay for her sister's surgery. If she was that desperate, she would take him up on his offer to repay him. Like, don't sit there and say that you simply must do whatever it takes, including lying and cheating people, to help out your sister, except for the easiest way to save your sister. He offered you the money. He obviously trusts you. Like, instead of bilking this family out, take him up and send her the money. Though I will say I did like that both Diana and Griffin cared for their families and went to great lengths to protect them. That is nice to see. I also adored Milo, the boy that Diana nannies. He kind of reminded me a bit of Manny from Modern Family, especially at the beginning. He's kind of like an old man in a child's body and just is fully himself. He doesn't care. You love to see it. I would rather read a book about Milo and Sophie, the 2 5-year-olds, going off on adventures than Diana and Griffin. The ending also felt very rushed, and I swear, I wanted to toss the book across the room as her heart was breaking, shattering, dissolving, whatever 9 million metaphors was used when they had been dating for, a few weeks? It felt like Wilson wanted one last romantic gesture and shoehorned it in with a crappy wrap-up. The epilogue was something else, but it did give me pause that they got married so quickly. Like, the epilogue is 2 years later, but Diana says they've been married for a year and a half already. So they dated at most a month before he proposed and then went on the fast track to getting married. Like, what is happening here? I know a lot of this stems from the fact that this genre is not my cup of tea, as I have said many times in this review. There are plenty of readers who loved it and love this style of story. I do not. If you're essentially looking for a Hallmark Christmas movie-esque type romance and want the predictable happily ever after, this might be a fabulous read for you. I would definitely give Wilson another try, as overall her writing was really good and the structure is there. It was just one that I didn't want to stay in too long, at least this book. So, have you read anything else by Soraya Wilson? Let me know your book recs in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time on Wine Club.